Otto. Hey, what's up, Otto? PLD, David Hicks. Aloha. Hey, Chris. It took me a minute to figure this thing out again. It's been a while. Um, I am in Oak Ridge, the town of Oak Ridge, North Carolina. Checking out a few things, asking questions at the town hall, which is next door, just south of me. This is this way, this direction. Uh, this where I'm currently stationed at is the post office here, and I just had some questions in general questions and then records requests for the town hall. I asked them about um, any funds that the town has spent, from taxpayers on holiday decorations around town. And she said the only thing that the town has set up and paid for is a luminary display across the street at the park. So I don't know if that, I don't know where that is, or I did hit some wires when I was walking because I was walking over there earlier. So I'm assuming it's like along the pathway. Um, and I asked her specifically, if for Christmas, if there was any Christmas decorations that the town has paid for. And she said, yeah, they have a luminary set up across the street. And I asked her if for those records, because they have a special committee that decides what they're going to do and how much they're going to spend and all this stuff. Um, so I got hopefully going to get those records back. But then I asked if the town has any Hanukkah decorations up anywhere, and she said no. I asked if they had any Saturnalia decorations up or any other holiday specific decorations up in the town, that's paid for by the town and by the taxpayers. And she said no. So then I thought, okay, well, I asked for some other records. They do not have a police department here. They have a sheriff's department here. So that's information. It's a Guilford County Sheriff's Department. Did some other requests through the town, and then she told me that they do have a fire department. It's just one building north. I haven't been there yet. We might go stop there and say hi, because she said that they're not funded by the town. That it's like basically they do their own fundraising. I'm sure they get grants and stuff from the state and maybe federal. So we'll ask them about that, like where they get their funding. We'll do that next. But I stopped here at the post office because she told me this post office is right next door, and checked that out. Asked them about Christmas cards if they sold any, and the guy at the desk, first guy, I didn't get his name, but he said first he said no, they didn't have cards, and I said, okay, I thought you guys sold cards here, and Christmas cards. He said, oh no, there is a display back, on the back behind you, and some customer, she finished her transaction next to me, and she's like, I'll help you. So she helped me go through the cards that were available. I asked her, what cards, if there were Christmas cards, and she listed off a whole handful of Christmas cards. I asked her if there were any Hanukkah cards or Saturnalia or any other, holiday-specific cards, and she said no. So it seems like the federal government is sponsoring one religious holiday this season, but not others in specific. Here, at least here in Oak Ridge, at the federal post office, and seems to be the same at the town hall. So I found that interesting. Um, I picked out a generic card and tried to go pay for it, but they don't accept Apple Pay here, so and that's the only form of payment I have right here on me. Um, I asked I got a different clerk this when I went up to go pay for just a generic card. It had like she said, add a tree as like a raised card, so it was pretty cool, tactile thing. It's gonna get for somebody, but yeah, so I wasn't able to purchase it. But I asked him if he had any other uh, holiday specific cards, and he actually came around and looked. Because the other guy, his name is Marty, and he checked and didn't find anything other than specifically Christmas cards. Like so, again, one specific religious holiday is being sponsored here at the federal post office in Oak Ridge, but not others. I find interesting. Uh, separation of church and state and all that. But uh, yeah, so I asked him who is responsible, for their stock, of cards that they sell, and he said it's Hallmark. That somebody from Hallmark comes and they stock it. They do it themselves. I guess it's similar to like a a vending machine or something like that, or they bring the stock to the store and then the store sells it, stock and shelves, whatever. So I asked, who schedules the refills or the stocking their cards, and they said the postmaster. So I have that number here if you guys want it. I don't know, I forgot what it is. So it's either this side. Here, let me see this side. Oh, hopefully that's in the frame. Hopefully my thumb's not covering it. But if you're curious about this and you want to get some answers on why the federal post office is sponsoring one religious holiday and not others, I thought it would be an interesting inquiry. Don of Hawaii, what's up, man? So there you go. Give me a one if that phone number came up for you guys. Hey, Eric. Did you guys get the number though? Was it able? Sorry. Two. Let me try again. Sorry. Flip it. How's that? Yes. 298-905. Yeah. Thank you. Cool. So that's for the postmaster here. So if you had questions, if you wanted to, I'm gonna follow up with them. But I just thought I'd let you guys know what I'm out about doing. Actually, pretty pretty chill out here. Weather's real nice today. It's a nice park across the street, walking trails and playgrounds and sports complex. It's funny, like I don't know why this. It keeps reading. It sounds like what it keeps reading. Maybe the what my screen reader thinks my thumbnail is because it says green grass, blue sky, sunglasses. So I'm assuming that that might be a description of the thumbnail. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just find it interesting that it seems, at least at a cursory check here, that the town and the post office, which is a federal entity, uh, are supporting and promoting one religious holiday and not others. So I find that fascinating. This is the end of the road here, it seems. Oh, I was in the post office. I think I was recording. It was just static. Like that may upload that later, but it was a pleasant encounter. Nobody gave me any gruff. Marty was helpful, and I think there's another, what do you call it, patron that assisted me with trying to figure out what cards were available. They're loading up or unloading. All right, I'm not gonna go that way. I want to try to get over to the fire department next door. Hey, is there a sidewalk over to the fire department? Yeah, I know the fire department is there. Is there a sidewalk connecting this?
Yeah, go down. Come to your right.
Okay. Then you go back towards the street.
Just go down to your right, and then you go to your left.
All right.
Okay.
But there's nothing like from the parking lot. I have to go like out to the street, right?
Well, yeah, if you just keep straight down, you'll see it to the left. You'll know it's to the left.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Cool. The cards that they had Merry Christmas cards. They had Christmas specific cards, but no other specific religious holiday cards. Only Christmas. So, um, yeah. Thank you. But we'll go check out this fire department. Ask them about funding if there's anybody here. Maybe on a voluntary staff basis. Somebody wants to look it up, they can find out if the Oak Ridge Fire Department receives any county, state, or federal funding. I mean, I would assume that they get some kind of grant or something, but they may not. They may be completely funded in other ways, privately or through donations. Or we'll find out. Do, 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 do. All right. You guys see if this is the front door or if the other one was? Anybody? Uh, so cool. Looks like a front door. Call box? Where's the call box? It is on the side. There you go.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I was just wanted to talk to somebody to find out if the fire department here is funded in any way through the county or the state, or if it's all privately funded.
We are funded through the county. What can I do for you?
Um, do you guys process like burn requests, or does that go through a different department?
Through the county.
Okay, let's do. You guys didn't do that here at all?
You're talking about a burn permit?
Yeah, if I wanted to like burn a blue line flag in a barrel or something.
Yeah, then you need to go online to a website and fill out a form.
Okay, do you know what that website is?
Yep, North Carolina Forestry Division.
Oh, okay, so it would be a
Right.
state program or state entity.
State. I mean, that's where the form is, and it'll be on there, and it says, burning permit.
All right. Is there any like what do you guys call it? Bans on burning?
I'm not sure. I'm not part of that, but you might be able to find out on the website.
Yeah, that's more like municipality and county stuff, right?
Let me have one of the firemen come to the door. Which door are you at?
Oh, I think I'm at the front. I'm at the
Okay,
one.
I'll send somebody up.
All right. Hey, what's up? You think I get a barrel, maybe a little metal grate, burn some blue line flags with some bacon on top? Hey, pepperoni, what's up? Hey. All right. Thanks.
All right, we're good right there. We gotta keep our distance.
Oh, what is that?
We gotta keep our distance
Oh.
because of COVID.
Oh.
Yeah, we're supposed to wear a mask and keep our distance for all non-emergency actions.
Okay. Um. Yeah, I just had a question about if I wanted to burn like a flag in a barrel, like what she said I had to go to like the forestry website. Is that right?
Any kind of outside burning permit
Uh-huh.
has to be obtained right now through the Forestry Service because we used to write them, but we don't allow anybody that's, like I said, non-emergency, anybody that works here or just emergency personnel basically in the building. And if you have an emergency, you can come in the building. But other than that, any kind of business. We've actually got 2 firemen out with the sickness right now.
Okay.
We don't want a pandemic and make us all make it short staff.
All right.
So you go to North Carolina Forestry
Uh-huh.
website, and on there is a place on there that says burning permits.
Okay.
All you have to do is apply for it. Fill in the information. You get it the same day you apply for it.
Is there any like general bans right now in the?
Not that they update that every day, and right now, not that I know of.
Okay, so if you wanted to burn your leaves, it's fine. You don't need a permit or anything.
Actually, in Oak Ridge town, you do.
Really?
Yes. In the town of Oak Ridge, if you live in the town,
Uh-huh.
limits. Different counties a little bit different, but the town limits. We do require.
Okay. So if you're just outside of towns in the county, like you can burn your brush yourself?
What's your address? You live here in Oak Ridge?
No, it's like if it's right outside of town limits, like not in town proper.
You still really need one. It's kind of a county thing. You still just need to go ahead and get a burn permit on the website.
Is there?
Forest Service. That way, if anything happens, they have a record of it.
Okay. So you have to ask permission, like to burn your own leaves.
Yes.
Wow. When did that start?
That became an ordinance when this became a town, and the fire district adopted the policy.
Wow.
The county adopted the policy.
Yeah, it seems crazy. People asking permission to dispose of their own refuse.
Right.
Okay. I think that's it. Like if you wanted to do like a demonstration that included like a barrel and burning something in the town, would that also be through the forestry, or would that be through you guys? Or
that would actually be if you want to do it through the town. They actually have a if you want to do a demonstration.
Yeah.
The Boy Scouts, the Eagle Scout program.
Yeah, they like don't they dispose of old flags, right?
They just done it right over here, and it goes through the town. The town
okay.
With everything you need to do. You can get in touch with the Boy Scouts through the town, and they actually burn a nice little burn pit to do the flag disposal.
Okay.
Properly.
All right.
It's, like I said, it's right over there near the parking lot.
Okay. So you got to ask permission from the town to do that?
That's a town thing. That's a town park over there.
All right. All right. I think that's it. Appreciate it.
All right.
You have a good one.
You too, man.
Oh, funding. She said you guys had funding from the county, right?
We do have funding from the county.
Okay, but just nothing from the town?
No.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it. Yeesh. You gotta ask permission to burn something, to burn leaves outside. That's crazy. Crazy talk, people. Hey, Bert. Yeah, someone's backyard fire pit. Exactly. Yeah. Who makes that decision, right? Is it somebody from the fire department? Is it somebody from the local police or the sheriff's department? Oh, lose my cane in that hole. You know, who makes that decision? Like, if your fire pit is okay or not? Don't hit me, car. Find this trail. What's over here? Let me give you guys an update. Sorry, I was trying to get caught up on these messages here. Let me update you guys on some stuff. So we have some cases pending in North Carolina. Currently, it's 3 cases. One case is out of Guilford County, the High Point Health Department. Actually, it's the county health department, but it's in High Point, North Carolina, where they attacked me and put me in the hospital. That's pending. Still, the defense, like criminal defense cases, not a civil action yet. So that's pending. I think it's pushed out to January sometime. The Rockingham County case from Madison, where I was a passenger in the van in the church parking lot. They're claiming resisting an officer for not just refusing. They claim they refused to provide ID. So that case is pending in Superior Court, and I don't know if we have a date yet for that. That was the one where when I went to court October 6th, I was following my attorney in to the courthouse right behind him, and they allowed him to go in. The deputies at the door allowed my attorney to go in, but then grabbed the door from me, pulled it out of my hands, and closed the door on me and said I was not allowed in the courthouse. And then minutes later, they came back out and arrested me for failure to appear. Hello. So that was October 6th, and then they put me in county jail for a couple of days, where I had a migraine because they left me in a brightly lit room in isolation. And then they transferred me to maximum security prison in Raleigh, where they put me in isolation for 10 days before Mrs. Justice was able to get $50,000 cash, like U.S. currency. She had to go to 3 different banks. She got a loan, but they didn't have all the currency in one bank, so she had to go to 3 different locations and put all this cash in a backpack and take the ransom to the magistrate's office. And then they count it by hand. They counted it by hand twice before they secured my release from the hostage takers, the kidnappers. We had that district court, abortion of justice. Not a miscarriage. It was deliberate abortion of justice in Rockingham County under Chris Freeman. Bench trial, just mockery, where he ruled a guilty verdict. He didn't find any facts of guilty. There's no evidence. There's no facts that would lead somebody to a guilty conclusion, guilty judgment, guilty verdict. And there was no legal basis. There's no legal argument presented either to get somebody to come to a legal conclusion of guilty. So it was just purely the prosecution offered his whole case basically was the defendant shows a lack of respect for law enforcement and the case law he supplied. The only thing he referenced from that was it's okay for law enforcement to make mistakes. So this is the prosecution basically admitting that the cops made a mistake, and yet was still prosecuting and asking for a guilty verdict because the defendant showed a lack of respect. Well, why would you respect somebody that is making a mistake and with violence? Like, they're using violence. They're mistaken about the law, and they're using violence. They're committing kidnapping. And anyway, the sentence for that was 12 months probation. And we appealed it, a few days later. And once we appealed it, the same tyrant, Chris Freeman, demanded my presence like the same day, like within hours. He wanted me in the courtroom. Well, I was having a migraine, so I was not capable of transportation or communication on my own. So they proceeded with that without my presence. And as a punitive action, remember his punishment, his sentence that he decided was 12 months probation. Because we appealed his decision to Superior Court, he decided to punish me further because in North Carolina you get basically an automatic appeal de novo. It goes to the next higher court, which is Superior Court, and then it erases whatever the district court did, right? Like as if it never happened. So it's new and fresh. So that's his punishment, because we appealed his decision, was house arrest, and that they were going to keep the ransom of the $50,000 ransom, even though court was done, like his district court was done. So there's a statutory law. There's a statute in North Carolina that says that I think the wording is the judge can decide whether or not to impose a bond in cases of appeal, but it doesn't specify specifically what level judge, whether it's the district or the superior court. So of course they interpret it in their favor. These lowest court judges say, "Oh, that means me. I'm the judge," rather than the superior court. Like, my business with the district court was done. So why does this guy have any say over what happens in the superior court? He shouldn't, right? And even in there's a handbook for prosecutors for North Carolina. It specifies that point, that it should be the superior court judge making determinations about bond and at the superior court level. So anyway, he decided to retaliate and punish me further, and a punishment that's worse, because probation is one thing. Like, you can travel as long as you don't leave the state, right? You can travel anywhere you want with nobody, monitoring, right? No restrictions on your movement. And since we appealed that gets thrown out, right? Since we appealed his decision. So his retaliation was, okay, now you're going to go on house arrest. And they kept me on house arrest for, I think it was 34 days. It was 40 days in total, like 6 days before court and 34 days after. And with that house arrest, it wasn't with a GPS monitor, and the specifications on it was that I couldn't go anywhere except for court, meetings with an attorney, or planned medical appointments. So that meant that I wasn't able to participate in election or cover any news of the election. I couldn't go watch the polls for you guys, or do any of that, and couldn't participate in any kind of religious activities, exercise, just basic life functions. Couldn't go to the grocery store. And so we at the superior court level, we've had one hearing to remove the pretrial conditions of bond and house arrest, and they removed the house arrest but not the bond. They kept the bond. The superior court judge, without a reason. He didn't give a reason. No reason has been given by any judge that has imposed it or upheld it. So they're just doing it willy-nilly, even though it's against their guidelines, against their policy for pretrial release guidelines that they're required to have under state law. They're way outside the bounds. Like, the bracket that they have me currently in, where they're holding that ransom against my family, is the highest level. So it's a violent felony with the person being a high risk of flight or danger to the public. That's the bracket they currently have me in. When this charge is only one charge, it's resisting an officer. It's a low-level misdemeanor, and I have no criminal record, right? And there's no evidence of me being a risk to the public or a flight risk. So they have no finding of fact to justify such an outrageous bond that they're still holding against my family, and the bank is still collecting money on every month. The payment is $800 a month on it, $300 which is interest. So it's $10 a day basically every day that they withhold that ransom money from my family. So that's Rockingham County case update. Then hello, we have a third case that you may or may not be aware of, out of Wake County, which is where Raleigh, the county that Raleigh's in, the capital. And this charge out of Wake County is for, what is it? I found out, I think it was last Monday, there was a hearing on it, and we did it over like WebEx or some, I don't know, we did some video conference over the internet for it. But I thought the charge was first-degree trespass. That's what I thought it was. So with on airport property. And then through this hearing last Monday, we found out that the actual charge wasn't first degree trespass, because that's a different statute in North Carolina. It's actually some random statute in like aeronautics, like it's trespass on airport property. Like it's a specific. I can get it for you guys. It's like 63 something or other. Is the statute number, but anyway, that was news to me. Like I'm going to this hearing, and I still didn't know what they were charging me with, or why. Like, and I tried to ask questions about the elements, right, the cause and nature of the charge or charges levied against me, which is in the U.S. Constitution and the North Carolina Constitution, right? That you're supposed to be fully informed of that, and they didn't tell me. The only thing they told me was that it was this different statute, not first degree trespass statute. And it's very similar in the wording. It's you have to, person is charged with going on airport property that is enclosed or secured or marked to indicate that it's off limits to the public, or something to the effect is generally the wording in it. And the date in question, I think, is September 15th, that they're alleging I trespassed on airport property. So I try to get clarified, well, is there an address? Can you, because, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what location you're talking about. Nobody stopped me when I was in Raleigh, because I was in Raleigh on that date with Jeff from NC Tyrant Hunter for the, basically the Rockingham County case, but also the Guilford County case, trying to get checks and balances with the state government. We went to all these different state government buildings, all three branches, and trying to get them to hold these counties and these law enforcement and these courts, these judges accountable, as prosecutors. And we didn't really get anywhere other than to document that there is no checks and balances in North Carolina state government. At least when it comes to being abused by the law enforcement in the court, their own people. So I asked for, I need to know just the basics about the charges. Like, where did this occur? Location is an essential element on a trespass charge. Like, where did this happen? And she's like, well, I don't have the address, but if the prosecutor has it, wants to share it, then go ahead. And prosecution didn't say anything. So I'm like, okay. So how am I supposed to know how to respond to this? Like, nobody stopped me and said, hey, you're trespassing. You need to leave. Nobody told me to, leave their property when we were in Raleigh. Nobody stopped and demanded my ID, or identified themselves as law enforcement and saying, hey, you need to get off property, right? So I heard it, and I wasn't even properly charged. I wasn't properly served. I got it from a friend that said, hey, this summons has your information on it. And then when we tried to verify that information through the Highway Patrol, because it was issued through the Highway Patrol, we're not getting any records. They're saying you can't get any records. And there's actually the lawyer from the Department of Public Safety, the DPS, for the state attorney. DPS's attorney at the state level emailed and said, hey, this is a part of an investigation and it's not subject to public records. And so I replied, like, well, what section of the public records law are you thinking applies to this? And so he sends me the section. So I copy and paste straight out of that section that he sent, where it says that the basic information that is public record is basically who, what, when, where, how. And I'm like, we don't even have that. We don't have the basic of this. And it's required under your state public records law for you to disclose this. So what is it? Give us this information. And they didn't, he didn't come back and try to argue with me, because he realized, oh yeah, that's true, that's accurate, that's what the law says. Instead, what they sent was a copy of the summons in a picture format, so I can't even access it, right? I can't even read it. And they sent somebody else, I think, did a request for that too. Another supporter tried to get any records on it, and they sent them a copy of the summons. And so other people that are asking for this record are getting it with a full Social Security number on the summons paperwork. It's pretty crazy. Like, they're sending out people's full Social Security numbers on these public records, which is a huge violation of privacy and state law and I think federal law. But so we addressed that with the Wake County clerk, and she said that she's going to correct it and retrain her people. But I still don't have any specifics. Like in this hearing, I wasn't able to get anywhere with them. They wouldn't tell me the basic elements of the charge. I'm like, I need to know the cause and nature of the charges levied against me. That's basic constitutional right. And he's like, well, I'm only required to just tell you there's charges against this, this is the charge, and it can hold 60 days in jail. And I'm like, okay, well, an element of that charge would be location. Like, so where's it? You haven't even established that it's in your jurisdiction. Well, this could be the wrong court. This highway patrol person could have submitted this to the wrong clerk, to the wrong magistrate. So you haven't even verified that. So how are you proceeding without even verifying that you are claiming accurately to have your jurisdiction? Like, and she didn't have an answer, right? So she wanted me to sign paperwork to waive rights, to either waive my right to counsel or to waive my right to hire an attorney or to have a court-appointed attorney. And I said, well, I don't want to waive any rights. I want to retain all my rights, and I need clarification on the cause and nature of the charges levied against me. And she's like, well, I don't have to give you anything more than I've already given you. That this is a trespass on airport property. I'm like, what airport property? Don't you have to tell me like location? It's not some hypothetical airport property somewhere. Isn't that an essential element of the crime? You're saying that I'm charged with murder. Well, murder who? Like murdering who? Whom? Who did I murder? Is there a name? Do you have a person? Actually have a victim? A person? Like that would be an essential part of an element of the crime, right? And they just failed to do any of that, and insisted that I waive rights, that I give up rights to continue with the court proceeding. And I continue to reiterate, like I do not wish to waive any of my rights. I am invoking all of my rights, including my disability rights. And you guys have no standing, no authority to demand that I waive rights to continue with this court process. And so basically she was all frazzled and frustrated and said that they're going to continue it to May. I pushed it all the way out to May, and said that she wants it to be in person, like in their courthouse in person. And she was making all kinds of claims. She said that she was claiming that I was not being cooperative. And so I clarified, like, I'm sorry, are you saying that an individual exercising their rights and choosing not to waive their rights is not cooperating with the court? Does that mean that in order to cooperate in your court, people have to waive their rights? They don't retain any rights inside your court, and that's what you believe to be cooperation? And she goes, oh, no, that's not what I'm saying. So it was really interesting encounter. Definitely not surprising by any means. And that's Wake County. So Wake County, somebody in Wake County, we don't even know if the troopers from Wake County, but some highway patrol person filed something with a magistrate, and we try to get records on that magistrate for their oath of office, and they don't have one on file. Surprise, right? So that came back negative. But yeah. So we don't even know if this person went to the right magistrate, because we don't have the location. We have no idea what they're alleging I trespassed on when I was out with Jeff trying to hold these thugs in Rockingham County and Guilford County accountable. So it just shows more criminal conspiracy on behalf of the North Carolina state government. The remonstrance, the official petition at the State House, so at the House of Representatives, has been accepted by the clerk for the House of Representatives, and we talked to him on the phone the other day, and he said that he can't bring it before the body, that a representative has to bring it before the body. And I'm like, well, that's not, where is that? Like, do you have any procedure that says that? And he didn't have anything to say. He's like, well, just how we do it. And I'm like, okay. So you're saying in order for this to be heard, for to be heard by the body, and for you guys to act or form a committee to decide what to do with it, and to, because they're supposed to, the petition was to impeach Chris Freeman, the district court judge out of Rockingham County. So they're supposed to form a committee and inform Chris Freeman that they're having an impeachment hearing, and then he's supposed to go, and whoever sent in the petition can go in, and they have this hearing. and then decide whether or not they're going to have an impeachment trial. But they're not doing that. So, in order to get them to move, basically we have to lobby. The clerk told us we have to lobby the representatives ourselves and find a representative in North Carolina that is willing to sponsor this petition in order for it to be heard whenever they have session again, which is going to be January, I think 13th or something like that. After I think it's when they swear in their new people. But there you go. That's all the updates on those. I guess the other stuff is Mrs. Justice started a TikTok that she's been having fun playing with. So if you haven't checked this out over there, check it out. I don't do anything with that. I have no idea. I'm not in the comment section over there. I don't even have that app. So if you want to go watch some short clips and engage with people there, have fun. But that's it as far as updates, guys. Let me find out what the chat's doing. Hey, Tyrant Hunter's on TikTok. Hey, I didn't know that. I think we all need to move out of NC. I think you can vote with your feet. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be moving soon. Mrs. Justice is looking for our next place we're gonna move to. So sorry, Jeff, we're getting the hell out of here. Hey, Blind Man No Justice, what's up, man? I have no idea what the TikTok name is. You probably just TikTok Blind Justice or probably. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end this, and I'll follow up with the post office. Maybe give them a phone call and find out like why they're supporting one religious holiday and not others with their sales. Hey, DC Action. You too, Jeff. Find this finish button. All right, bye, guys. Peace and love. They were Bear.